husband's bed, but Chidinma refused. I can't sleep with your husband knowing you are sleeping across the room, Mma said, still looking for a way to get out of the situation. After thinking for a while, Chiamaka said that she has been yearning for a vacation, so she will use the opportunity to get some rest. 2 weeks later, Chiamaka welcomed Mma into her home, then left as her the next day with instruction for Mma to come once she's pregnant. Initially, Mma couldn't do it every night. She avoided sleeping with Udoka with different excuses. But at a point, Udoka was getting fed up. So Mma swallowed her morality and slept with her sister's husband night after night. 6 weeks later, she called her sister and gave her the good news. Chiamaka came home 2 days later and they met at Mma's apartment. After celebrating the pregnancy, Chiamaka told Mma to take care of the pregnancy, then went home to her husband. 3 months later, she told her husband that she was pregnant and needed her sister to stay with her to take care of her. So, Mma moved into their home. Months later, Adoma, her daughter, was born. At the hospital, Chiamaka hugged her sister tight and thanked her for making such a sacrifice for her. 1 year later, she went back to Chidinma, begging her to have another child for her. She insisted she needed a male child to solidify her position in her husband's house. And because of the love for her sister, Chidinma agreed again. And this time, she was pregnant with a boy. During the pregnancy, however, it was discovered that Chidinma had uterine fibroid. She was in pain throughout the pregnancy, but Chiamaka insisted that they must keep her condition a secret from her husband because it will be hard to maintain the lies later. So they tried to manage the pain in secret. During childbirth, the doctor advised for a cesarean section, but because it would be difficult to explain later if there was no surgical scar on Chiamaka's belly, so she begged Mma to insist on normal delivery. Though her life was at risk, Mma agreed and insisted on normal delivery. There were complications, but in the end, her life was saved, and soon Tochukwu, Chiamaka's son, was born. For months after delivery, Mma was in pains. At a point, the pains were too much to bear that she has to undergo abdominal myomectomy, a surgery to remove the fibroids. However, the fibroids grew back, and as months went by, the pain became unbearable, leaving Mma with no option but to completely remove her womb through a medical process called hysterectomy. And that completely ruined Chidinma's chance of ever having her own children. After Chidinma lost her womb, Chiamaka became paranoid with the irrational fear that her sister would lay claim on her children. So she started avoiding her, and their relationship began to suffer. Anytime Mma mentioned visiting her sister to see the children, Chiamaka would find an excuse to stop her sister from visiting. Even her mother and brother Dalo started to avoid Chidinma. In fact, they completely cut her off and abandoned her when she needed them the most. One day, during a family gathering that Chidinma was not invited to, she appeared and confronted her family. What did I do to all of you, especially you, Chiamaka? How can you cut me off after what I did for you? She demanded. What you did for me? You mean sleeping with my husband and bearing his son? Ma was shocked to hear her say that aloud, since it was supposed to be a secret. Chidinma, I knew we were supposed to keep it a secret, but I couldn't bear it anymore. I tried, Ma. I tried to bear it, to keep your secret. Lay claim on my children, now that you can't have yours, Chiamaka explained. The truth was that it never occurred to Ma to lay claim on Chiamaka's children. She believed that one doesn't have to give birth to a child to be his or her parents. Adoption is something she had considered and accepted. But out of fear, her own twin sister had destroyed everything she had just to protect herself. Goodbye, sister, Chiamaka said, then stood and left. After Chiamaka left, Chidinma broke down and cried. She cried for hours, and for weeks she sat in her room thinking of what to do, whether to try and get revenge, but in the end, she decided to move on with her life. Now that she has lost her family thanks to her sister, she decided to leave Asaba, where they were all living, and relocate to Lagos. She was a graphic designer and got most of her clients online, so relocating to Lagos did not affect her business. One day, Chidinma witnessed a fatal accident that claimed the lives of some roadside beggars and traders. Among the victims was a beggar with a 4-year-old daughter. Her daughter had gone to buy pure water when the accident happened, so she was spared. Though the little girl was covered in death, her innocent, sorrowful cry for her mother captured Mma's heart. She spoke to the authorities, and after months of legal proceedings, she was allowed to adopt the girl, whose name was Gift. Chidinma brought her home